Today we're tackling Tempus AI.
Right, a really interesting company using AI in, well, precision medicine.
Yeah, especially cancer care, genomics. They've built this enormous library of clinical and molecular data. It's kind of their powerhouse.
It really is. We've been looking at it, executive analysis, digging into their business, their stock. The mission today is to figure out, what makes them tick.
And what's behind that recent stock surge? Because it's been quite a ride.
Definitely. And what the future might hold.
What grabbed me was the origin story. The CEO founded it after his wife's cancer treatment. It really highlighted the need for, better tech in healthcare.
That's a powerful driver. Absolutely. It gives context.
And the stock reflects something is happening.
Yeah.
Closed at $57.06 just recently, May 2nd. That was up 10% in one day.
Wow.
Yeah. And nearly 25% over the last month, year to date. It's a huge 68% gain.
Though it's been volatile, hasn't it? What was the range?
Big range. 52-week low was $22.89. High was way up at $91.45.
And there was that recent buzz, wasn't there, about Nancy Pelosi possibly buying options.
Right, that was reported. We should be clear, we're just reporting what the sources said about that potential influence on investor interest.
Of course. But that kind of news, it definitely gets attention.
Okay, so how do they actually operate? What are the core parts?
Well, there are three main segments. You've got genomics as diagnostic testing, mostly oncology.
Okay.
Then there's data. They license out de-identified patient data. Pharma companies, biotech, they really want this stuff.
And they work with a lot of the big ones, right?
Oh yeah, a significant chunk of the largest public pharma companies. And third is apps AI tools for doctors, researchers.
Like Hub, One, Loop. Wasn't there an AI assistant too?
Olivia, yeah. Part of their platform tools.
And these partnerships with pharma, with cancer centers, that seems key. Gives them data, gets their tools used.
Exactly. It's a virtuous cycle in theory. Data improves the AI tools get used, generating more insights, potentially more data.
And they're not just sticking to cancer anymore.
No, they've been expanding. Neuropsychology, cardiology, infectious diseases, broadening the scope.
Plus those acquisitions, Ambry Genetics, that was recent, right? February.
Yeah, Ambry broadens their genomics reach beyond just oncology.
Yeah.
And then Deep 6 AI in March.
What does Deep 6 AI do?
They help more with the clinical trial side of things, finding patients, managing trials, so enhancing that support.
Makes sense. It all points towards AI being central. They even rebranded to emphasize it. And that pre-IPO funding, over $1 billion.
Quite the war chest before going public. Shows a lot of early belief. Ambry was a smart move too, diversifying beyond oncology.
Okay, let's look at the numbers, the financials. Q4 2024 sounded strong.
Yeah, revenue growth was 35.8% year over year. Hit $200.7 million.
Both sides grew. Genomics and data?
Both did. Genomics up over 30%. Data and services up nearly 45%.
Are our margins getting better?
Definitely improving. Gross profit margin accelerated almost 50% in Q4.
And losses. I know they haven't been profitable consistently.
Right, but the net loss shrank quite a bit in Q4. $13 million loss compared to over $50 million the year before and like $76 million the previous quarter.
Okay, so moving in the right direction. Adjusted EBITDA too.
Improved significantly, almost drunk even, negative $7.8 million in Q4.
And the full year, 2024 overall.
Revenue up about 30% to $693.4 million. They highlighted $940 million in remaining contract value.
That's big. And customer retention.
Very strong. 140% net revenue retention at the end of 2024.
Market cap now around $9.87 billion.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
Which gives it a price to sales ratio around 14 based on 2024 revenue. Still negative PE, obviously.
But the guidance for 2025 looks ambitious.
Very ambitious. They're projecting around $1.24 billion in revenue. That includes Ambry, mind you. That's like 79% annual growth.
And they expect positive adjusted EBITDA for the full year.
That's the forecast. About $5 million. That would be a major milestone.
And we're waiting on Q1 results soon, right? May 6th.
That'll be the next big data point.
Okay, shifting to the stock itself. IPO was June 24, $37. We mentioned the high and low.
Right. $91.45 high in Feb. $22.89 low last June.
And that recent surge, May 2nd especially, trading volume is pretty high too.
About 11.3 million shares a day on average. And yeah, market cap near $10 billion. Beta is high though, 3.61.
Meaning more volatile than the market?
Exactly. Typical for this kind of growth stock, Short interest is around 8%, so some skepticism out there. No dividend.
We touched on Fibonacci projections, maybe potential support around $70, resistance higher up, but that's always speculative.
Very speculative, yeah. Depends on news, market sentiment, everything.
What are analysts saying generally?
Mostly positive. The consensus seems to be a buy. Average price target in the low $60, suggesting some upside from the recent close.
Though there's a range $48 to $74 and some recent rating changes.
Yeah, TD Cowen upgraded, JP Morgan downgraded recently, so not unanimous, but generally leaning positive.
And key developments recently, we mentioned the acquisitions, partnerships too.
Big ones. AstraZeneca, Pathos AI, that was a $200 million deal apparently. BioNTech, Illumina, strong validation.
New products launched to Loop, new features for One, Olivia rolled out nationally.
Yep, pushing innovation. And expanding their clinical trial network, the TEM network. Even set up an advisory board. Lots of activity.
Yeah, okay, so wrapping this up, Tempus AI, clearly right in the mix of AI and precision medicine.
Absolutely. Strong growth, market seems excited, but, still working towards consistent profit.
Right. Risks are there, profitability, volatility, competition is fierce in this space.
But the opportunity side looks significant too. That revenue growth, improving margins, the strategic moves they're making. The whole sector has huge potential.
Definitely. So here's a final thought for you listening. Given how fast AI is moving and how much more genomic data we have, what other parts of healthcare do you think could be totally revolutionized next?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Tempus AI story.
Yeah.
It might just be the start of something much, much bigger.
Indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today.